Welcome to Jazz Time. Jazz Time is an online store that buys, sells, and trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos where customers can easily choose the best watch for themselves in the comfort of their own home. If you like this watch and would like to purchase it at the lowest price anywhere online, click the link in the description below to buy it at jazztime.com. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Richard Mille RM3503 automatic winding Rafael Nadal in white quartz TPT. It's actually blue and white quartz TPT. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the history of the Nadal series, brief history because there's a lot. There's 10 models actually. Then I'll tell you about where this watch stands in the lineup of similar Rafael Nadal watches. Then I'll start telling you about the case, bezel, dial, bracelet movement, and finally give you my thoughts. So let's start with that history of the Nadal watches. Now, Rafael Nadal, as you probably should know, is one of the greatest tennis players to ever play the game. And Richard Mille is one of the greatest watch companies to ever play the game. I would say that the top 3 watchmakers in the world, at least as of right now, are Rolex, Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet, and of course, Richard Mille. Richard Mille being the newest addition to the big names. Now, those other 3 names I just mentioned have been around for more than 100 years, and every single one of them, but Richard Mille has only been around for approximately 25 years. They are the newest company, but they are just as big in terms of sales as Audemars Piguet and Patek Philippe, all of those breaking $1 billion. Of course, Rolex is breaking much more than $1 billion. I think they're actually way bigger than $1 billion, at least in revenue alone. But Richard Mille is a new company, and they are able to have the numbers just as big as Patek Philippe and Audemars Piguet. Okay, now with that said, let's talk about the Rafael Nadal models. Rafael Nadal was approached by Richard Mille approximately 2010 or something like that to wear and be an ambassador for Richard Mille. He agreed, and Richard Mille produced their first watch for him, and that was in 2010. They have produced 5 different watches throughout the years. I'm not going to go through each one of them because it's not a review of that, it's just a brief history. They produced tourbillons for Rafael Nadal in 2010, again in 2012, 13, and again in 15, and again in 17, and again in 20, and I think again in 24. So basically every 2 or 3 years they would produce a new tourbillon for Nadal to wear. And they've been doing so since 2010. So now it's 2025, he's already retired. So 15 years, 5 different watches, actually more than 5 different watches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 watches, 6 tourbillons, and of course over 14 years or so, approximately 1 every 2 or 3 years. And all of those are selling way above list. They're all limited pieces of 50, and they are retailing at about maybe 600-700K, at least at the time that they were released, and now they are easily over $1 million each. So for most of us, we will never be able to afford or even see one of those $1 million watches. So Richard Mille has actually kind of decided to make some affordable watches for normal people. And that's where I'm about to tell you about this next section of the video, which is where this watch stands in the lineup of similar Nadals. So for most people who are going to buy a Nadal Richard Mille, they're going to buy the RM35 series, and Richard Mille knew that because they made these series non-tourbillon, which means they tell the date only, which makes it cheaper. No $1 million, but more like a few $100,000, which is still expensive. But by Richard Mille's standards, at least they're affordable by some people, or at least, more people. They're not into limited production, so let's start with that. The first one was called the RM35 and was produced in 2011, 1 year after the production of the limited version. So they produced a sort of version that people can buy, let's put it that way. They came out with the 35, it was a very small watch. It was a very small watch, much smaller than any of the other ones, and it just looked like a little bit not like any of the other 35s that you will see. And then they came out a few years later, I think it was the 2014 one, I want to say, they came out with the 3501. And that is what you finally start to look like what it does today, which is on this 3503, which is the latest version as of 2025, where you can see it has this sort of pattern, like an X pattern. All of these X's over here. And the 3501, it still had that sort of X pattern, it just didn't look as good as it does now. And back then, it was a manual wind. A few years after that, I think 2016-17, they released the 3503, which is basically the same as the 3501, except it had a rotor, which means it was automatic winding, and in the back, it started to look like this, the 3503 that you see here. Then the fourth iteration of the Nadal is what you see right here. So this is the latest and probably the last one, I would imagine, because he's retired, right? So the 2503 is what you see here, and this was released back in December of 2021. So it's been a few years that it's been out, and it still retains that sort of cross pattern or the X pattern that you see like this. And that's the kind of the hallmark of this one. Okay, so after that, they released the black version of it in 2024, or 23, I think it was, 2 years after. And so after that, they also have a blue version of this. So not a lot, but yeah. By the way, I should also mention that these watches are super duper hard to get. It's pretty much impossible to get at the AD. The retail price is approximately $250,000 US, and the resale is starting somewhere around $450, something like that. For the blue and the black is around 400, but for the white TPT is somewhere around 450, 500,000, depending on your condition, whatever. So it really is top of the line, and you can tell because it is so unique and it is very beautiful. Okay, with all that said and done, let's actually start talking about the watch itself, starting with the case. So the case, as I said, is made of 3 different variations. The variation that you're seeing right here is Quartz, white Quartz TPT. And the way that they do a TPT is quite interesting. They actually, as I read this on their website, they take multiple layers of parallel filaments obtained by dividing carbon fibers or silica threads, and they place them with a maximum thickness of 45 microns impregnated with resin that is woven on a special machine that modifies the direction of the weft by 45 degrees. They heat it to 120 degrees, put it on a pressure of 6 bars, and then they put it on a CNC machine. So they basically do a crazy process to have this white color. And then they infuse it with this beautiful gray that you see here. And so it's not just a big chunk of white. So it really makes it look, I don't know, out of this world, if you ask me. And there's not a lot of other watches that do this in white quartz, especially infused with this beautiful gray gradient in it. Actually, I can't even think of any of them off the top of my head, so this case work is truly amazing. Okay, now the case, what can we say about this? Well, Richard Mille makes one of 3 cases, basically, at least that I have seen. Well, actually, I've seen all of them. And so the smallest they make and the thinnest one is the 67, either the 6701 or the 02. Those are really thin, and I call that a small size. Then they make their medium size, which is the RM30, 3001, or actually the 3503, which is what you're looking at right now. And then they make the biggest one, the RM6501, which takes the place of the old RM1103s, and then they make their biggest one, which is the RM6501, which is kind of takes the place of the old RM1103s and RM11s. So small, medium, large. This one is the medium. Now, what does that come out to in terms of actual dimensions? Well, let's go from top to bottom, 12 to 6, where the bracelet actually connects. That is 50 millimeters, which is about as big as you'd probably like to make a watch. Any bigger would be too big for most people. It's big, but the watch is meant to be big. Now let's go from left to right, the 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. That distance is 43 millimeters, which also, again, is probably as big as you would want to get. The 65, by the way, is even bigger than all of that. Okay, now the thickness here, surprisingly, it's not very thick, but again, it only tells time. So I'm not surprised that it's not super thick, but it's nice, it's comfortable. 13 millimeters thick. Not very thick at all. A very wearable size, very, very wearable size. Okay, and that is the case, all right? And of course, they have these 5 spline screws that go up and down. It has 4 of them, and then the 4 spline screws at the bottom where it connects the bracelet at the head. Okay, but now let's move on here to the movement and the dial, which is actually the same thing. So let's talk about them in one section, because basically you see the dial right here in front. Now, the dial has open worked hands, and that means you can see everything on it. They don't put a dial on it, and they do it with a microblasted grade of 5 titanium baseplate. They don't put a dial on it, and they do it with a microblasted grade 5 titanium baseplate. And they, even on the baseplate, they put PVD on it. So they PVD an electroplasma treatment when the baseplate. So they PVD an electroplasma treatment on the base plate, so that gives it this precise flatness that makes it look beautiful. And then they subject it to intensive and complete tests to make sure that it can withstand the stresses. So it's just of course, it's very beautiful, and I love the way the front of it looks. If you look at the front dial, you just look like the 3501 and the 3502, except for it looks like a more evolved version of those. And then they have where the 12, 3, and 6, those numbers are, you can actually see them in angle, not really straight down, but kind of in an angle. And that gives the watch an even more depth to it, and you can really, it just looks like it has layers upon layers on the dial. And I think that's what makes the watch really stand out, and it really is the reason why the 3503 is selling so far above retail, because just of the beauty of it. And it's also very symmetrical and beautiful. It just looks fantastic. Now, let me just show you what these little markers here are. So this top right button that you see here at the very upper right, that's the gear selector. It also allows you to choose to wind it. If you press it and it's on W going forward, you can wind the crown. If it's in neutral, it doesn't do anything. And then if you press it again and it goes to H, that goes to hour, and then you can set the time. So you do not actually pull the crown out here. Okay, now let me show you this other button on the bottom left, which is right around the 8 o'clock position. If you press it, normally it should be in an on position, so you leave it on, which is pointing at the right. Now if you press it and it'll go to the off, now let me show you what it looks like in the back. So let me put it on the back now. So when it is on, the rotor is connected. Let me show you the back of it. It's connected and it's all one piece, and it allows the rotor to rotate, thereby turning the barrel, which stores energy. When you press it and it goes off, it separates, and there's two weights that go to the periphery and separate at the rotor, so the rotor no longer spins. When the rotor no longer spins, it no longer turns the barrel, and that barrel no longer winds the watch. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, let's just say you're playing tennis, for example, and you're swinging the watch and you don't want to overwind the barrel. So you put it in this sort of sports mode. You press the button, which turns it off, and then you can play tennis all that you want, and the watch will still keep time, but it will not wind the watch anymore. And the reason you don't want to wind it because you don't want to overwind it. Overwinding the watch is not good, so you can put it into sports mode. Pretty cool. Yes, it is very gimmicky, to be honest, but it's cool. I mean, they're inventing their own complications. Not a lot of watches. I mean, there's a lot of complications out there, but they're all the same. They're minute repeater, perpetual calendar, and so on and so forth, but Richard Mille is actually inventing their own complications. They're inventing the gearbox. They're inventing this rotor thing. Yes, it's kind of useless if you're not playing tennis, but then again, aren't all complications kind of useless? I mean, who's really going out there and who needs a moon phase, for example, or a minute repeater, or a tourbillon, or how many of us actually really need that to create a watch, right? Anyways, my point being, it's a cool complication. Anyways, let's move on down to the bracelet. And the bracelet is here. It is this ice blue bracelet. You can actually put it on any wrist you want. It is a double vent, and it has this buckle that you see right here. It's a typical buckle for all RM, and it's held together by pressure. So you can swap the bracelet out for, let's say, example, a canvas bracelet. Anyways, I'm not going to say a whole lot about a bracelet. It's perfect for this, and it looks very nice. Okay, time to put this watch on my wrist and give you my thoughts. Now, I am 6 feet tall, 200 pounds, and I have a 7.5-inch wrist, and I really think this is the pinnacle. It is the best that Richard Mille has produced. I think it is better than their 65, the 72, the 67, etc., etc. It's basically their best one. And the market price shows that. It sells for way above listed, almost double or $200,000 above listing. So you can imagine that this watch, you basically will never get it from AD. You will have to buy it somewhere on the gray market unless you, of course, literally spent millions of dollars at Richard Mille. Maybe you could. But it makes sense that this one would be the one that's selling way above list. Why? Because just look at the beauty in of itself. It's amazing. It's just such a good looking watch. So I could see why this one in particular would be going so far above listing. Okay, but now what are my thoughts about it? Well, aside from it being the latest version and probably the last Nadal that will ever be produced, which makes it special in of itself, the incredible colors, the white and the blue, the excellent wearability and the size being medium, the innovative complications, which you probably won't use, but it's still very cool, and it's just an awesome name of Richard Mille, you really have to say that this watch, I have to say it's one of my favorite Richard Milles. So if you like this watch just as much as I do, and if you want to buy it at the lowest price anywhere online, click the link in the description below and buy it at jazztime.com.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to model as seen in video, click on it and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.